A person who believes that a man can be a woman, or vice versa, or anything along those lines, is plainly suffering from some mental disorder. Not just a person suffering dysphoria, sexual dysphoria, which was till I think 2013, Leminyanam was listed as a mental disease, and then somehow miraculously became a normal state of mind. Such a person is unfortunately suffering from a very lamentable condition. We all should, and I certainly do, empathize with such a person and their various challenges. But it doesn't mean this person is not suffering from some form of derangement. So it's called dysphoria. You can call it whatever you like, but it's a mental issue. It's a mental disease of some type. A person who comes up with the idea that a man can be a woman or vice versa is also equally suffering from some form of derangement. The person who came up with the idea, they're obviously more deranged, and the people they go ahead then and convince that their deranged notion is truth. Those people are also unwell, but they maybe are less unwell than the originator of the idea, but they're all unwell. Now, all of this is possible because of none of this would be possible without the collapse of the central place that the Bible, or shall we say Christianity in the Western world, held for, depending where, the past 2,000 years, the past 1,100 years, depending on which country you refer to. If there is such again, the Bible, even a corrupted form of the Tanakh, of the Bible, if that is accepted and by a society, by a people, and becomes a central part of their core identity and understanding of the world, then a person will not come up with the idea that men can be women, women can be men, or what have you. They will not come up with the idea that all various forms of sexual depravity described by the Torah as to'eva, as something abominable, are to be considered normal and proper and reasonable. You won't come up with these ideas if you accept this external system, external to our physical DNA being. If you accept this Torah min hashamayim, Torah from heaven, you accept it as true, then you can you will view the world in a certain way. As that was slowly over time whittled away by the Renaissance and various philosophers and by Darwin and what have you, the more God was removed from human society, the more you can go back to thinking in purely biological terms, in terms of one's DNA. And then you can even come up with the idea that something like homosexuality is somehow also a result of this particular person's DNA, although no one has been able to find any such a gene or any such marker. It has never been found, and I doubt will ever be found. The causes are, in fact, psychological, that is to say, emotional, spiritual, what have you, not biological, because biologically it's suicidal. The fact that today there are various ways of a homosexual couple having a child, so to speak, which is not true, that's also a lie. They're not having a child. They hire a woman to sell an ovum and for her to carry it, and then they claim it's theirs. This is all part of the system of lies that they tell themselves. So when people are completely removed from the Torah, from even the Bible, Christianity, whatever it is, when that foundation of Western society was removed, then anything is possible. And then you cannot truly see the value in anything collective or nationalistic. patriotic. And then you find that people are unwilling to go to war, which is true. And then you have peace movements, and such people will always view only the here and now. They never think about the long-term outcomes and ramifications of their ideas and their positions. And therefore, it's not just a peace movement, it's peace now. Shalom achshav, because it's all about shalom. We want shalom. I want shalom. It's like a child having a tantrum. I want peace. Well, so do I. And I want it now. And therefore, we'll do anything to achieve the goal of this particular tantrum. Just like a child who's having a tantrum and thrashing about on the floor in the throes of such a uncontrolled anger tantrum. That is exactly how we should view the radical woke left. They are children having a tantrum, but as they're having this tantrum, they're also destroying society. So they cannot simply be considered unfortunates or children. They are very dangerous people. So when a person is in that situation or sees the world through that set of spectacles, yes, then a person can say to himself, why should I keep Shabbat? Or who's to tell me what to do? Or who's to tell me how to dress? What is this concept of modesty? What have you? Who's to tell me what I should do? It's my body, my choice, correct? That's the slogan. Unless, of course, we're talking about the DARPA CIA-funded Pfizer or Moderna product, in which case it's not your body, your choice. But otherwise, it's my body, my choice. And that's a wonderful perspective. If you are completely selfish, childish, shallow, and without any depth to your personality or being, and you have no higher values, then you can consider it quite correct to kill an unborn child because it's inconvenient right now. The Torah, of course, teaches us that is not an acceptable way of life, and it's not how a Jew may look at the world. And therefore, we train people to think and look at the world differently. But I agree with you. If a person is caught up in that satanic system, where there is no God, there is no Hashem, there is no, not just Torah or Judaism, there's no Christianity either. There's nothing. The church is gone. The church is in, although there is actually an uptick in Dafka young people turning to Christianity in certain countries, like the UK. This is an interesting phenomenon. This is something of recent years. It's being discussed and documented as we speak, but there is such a phenomenon, apparently. It's not a majority yet by any means, but there is an uptick in young people trying to return, some people returning to Christianity, for example, in these countries, because they see what has happened in a society which is bereft of that Christian crutch, of that foundation on which their culture, their civilization was originally based. So, but by and large, certainly till recent years, and still at this time as well, at this point in history, the churches in countries like the UK, France, Italy, Germany, the churches are empty, basically, completely empty, and almost being shut down, literally. Those churches are not being burnt down by the Muslim immigrants, etc., because that's also something else that's going on all the time on a daily or weekly basis. The point is, if you remove this external higher system from your life, from your civilization, then yes, anything is possible. Then people will be automatons of their based and function only in terms of their DNA and their selfish interests and their deranged notions which they can come up with. Whatever particular deranged notion takes a person's fancy, they'll go with it and run with it because there's nothing to hold them back. There are no rules, there are no higher values, it's all about me, right? It's the iPhone, the iPad, it's all about it's about me. Whatever suits me, that by definition is right and good, and you tell me it's dangerous for the nation. Who's the nation? Why am I responsible? What's a nation, Bichlal? Who is that? What is that? I don't know. It's not my business. It doesn't interest me. I don't believe in that. I don't even believe in borders. There shouldn't be nations, right? This is also part of the derangement. when you lose all sight of nationhood, because that is the normal state of human beings, to live as individuals who live with other individuals, called a nuclear family, and they are part of a larger family and part of a tribe and a nation. That is the way the Torah works. The reality works, and that's why the Torah speaks in Sefer Bereshit about after the Mabul, after the flood, speaks about speaking about the various peoples breaking off into groups, into nations, in their various countries. So a universalist system, a one world government type system, is also antithetical to normalcy and to mental health. So to sum up, when a person has this higher authority, which is an external authority to himself, and they accept that, and they are capable of making the correct decision and very even difficult decisions, even such decisions that endanger their own biological existence. If that is removed from the equation, then I agree with you. Human beings, whoever they may be, Jew or Gentile, whatever their background, they can be turned into shallow DNA-driven organisms that are in every way similar to any other DNA-driven organism of any order.